is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie. Welcome to the podcast, Tuesday's podcast. We got a new relationship segment back. If you've just started a relationship, there is a point where you sit down with friends and you go, okay, let's go through the pros and cons and see if this is worth continuing.
Should have been the pros and wrongs. Where really you're over them
good.
because of what they did last Friday night.
Yeah, but it might not even
not
be
bad.
a new relationship. I think sometimes you have to revisit these questions, do a list every 12 months.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Check in with your partner. Honey, grab a seat. It's been 12 months. Here's the list.
I regularly do it with this show.
Oh, do you?
Oh, do
yeah.
you?
What are
I
the-
haven't
what are the
seen the
cons?
list.
Oh, well, I've got 8 pages here. Do you want to go through them now?
We could never possibly find the time.
Funny classic joke. Hey, it's coming up in the podcast.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Ozempic. I mean, there's a few sort of extensions of Ozempic, aren't there? There's sort of an ugly cousin and a side stepsister and a half an uncle.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good recipe that I do in the kitchen.
What do you do?
If anyone's keen for it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's similar. I just had a look at the ingredients on Ozempic and I just go down to my local Foodland and stuff,
do you?
and I'll just get my own ingredients.
As it turns out, I believe you can because there's a thing called Oat-Zempic. So if you
What?
want the natural equivalent of Ozempic, you can have Oat-Zempic. 50 million people have viewed this. I'd love to know how many took action and actually made this. So it's a drink. The recipe contains half a cup of oats, a cup of water, juice from half a lemon and a dash of cinnamon.
And your body looks like porridge.
Yes, it does. Just poured into the top and no one said stop. Appetite suppressing is what it does, guys. This is
gotcha.
coming from a guy online called the Churro King.
I must admit, so you're looking for suppressants, aren't you? You're looking for things that you
I
don't
feel
feel
full.
like. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Coffee does that. Isn't it amazing you can have a coffee and you don't really feel hungry straight afterwards?
Yeah, I know, but I get a lot of lift me up, dump me back down. I'm like a huge wave when I'm on the coffees. So what I try and do throughout the show between 6 and 9 is just stay on that wave.
Yeah.
Keep punching espressos and don't get dumped until after 9 o'clock, and then I just sort of cry myself to sleep in my chair.
What else are eating suppressants?
Well, they talk about going through the list of this guy, the Churro King. He lost nearly 10 pounds or 4.5 kilos in 3 weeks from drinking Oat-Zempic. Avocado's a good one, Fitz. Chia seeds, large amounts of fibre, protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and a range of minerals. Oats, tradition. Tommy, you're the oat guy.
yeah.
You love an oat in the morning.
Well, he's all brand.
Yeah, I was the all-brand guy. Have you rebranded me?
Yeah, you've gone. I mean, you're not afraid of sort of soaking an oat in a little bit of milk and just hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Without any flavour.
Tommy, you got the lifetime supply of all brand. How is that
you?
going?
The lifetime supply only lasted 3 months, which,
Okay.
so I've outlived it.
They consider that to be your lifetime, do
Yeah,
they?
that might have been
They
the
took-
budget.
They took one look at you and went, oh my God, he hasn't got long.
Well, no, he was the only one they was sending boxes of all
Yes.
brand out to.
No,
Yeah.
it was a wonderful birthday present. Thank you so much.
Easy, mate. Legumes are big, like beans, peas, lentils, peanuts, soybeans. I'm not eating that. Eggs are good. Eat eggs.
Mate, this has got nothing. Ozempic is it's a jab that you give yourself that stops you from eating. So legumes and this stuff,
They
that's
fill
just
you up.
It's just a healthy diet.
Do you know what's not bad out of a can, right? If you want a little bit of a hit and you're trying to be healthy, 4-bean mix. Do you guys, does anyone buy 4-bean mix?
No,
You put a
mate.
bit of lemon in it. Oh, there you go. Maddie likes a bit of 4-bean mix.
Yeah, but you got to put tuna or something with it, don't you?
No,
don't you
bit of
put-
salt, bit of lemon.
Don't you put that in
See you
your
later.
burritos? 4-bean mixer in your
could.
burritos?
Yeah, you could put a 4-bean in there, mate. And nuts.
This is fascinating stuff.
Do you know what the problem is? You read this and you look at it and you go, nah, too hard, Ozempic.
Yeah, you do. Just give me a jab.
Just, mate, if I can knock that up with a jab within 30 seconds, I don't have to go and get a 4-bean mix, some eggs, nuts, oats, and whatever else it was, legumes and avocado.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm done. Give me a jab and get me summer ready.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I like her, but she's no good in bed. I like him, but he's got an ugly head. Should we go or should we stay with them? Make a list of pros and cons.
Very easy, guys. We want your pros and cons. You might be at the start of a relationship or you may have settled in. And over the years, you've just thought to yourself, is this the right place to be?
Yeah.
That's when you draw up your pros and cons list.
Beck in Parramatta, how long have you been with this man for, Beck? What's his name, first of all?
Barry.
Barry.
It's
Okay,
not
we're
Barry,
going with
is it?
Barry. How long you been with him, Beck?
Married for 3 years.
Married for 3 years. Let's start with the pros. What do you like about Barry?
He's quite good at finances and pretty good at being a handyman and great at being Deso driver.
Okay, designated driver. Okay, so happy to stay off the grog if, Beck, you're having a couple of martinis.
Yeah.
Beck, and now you've got your cons list there in front of you, Beck. What does it say?
Oh gosh, he's got awful fashion sense. He can't plan ahead to save himself, and he's actually scared of small dogs.
Scared of small dogs?
Yup.
Okay. I wouldn't worry about that. I call that an interesting quirk. The fashion sense makes you feel publicly embarrassed, which is a huge concern to be seen with him.
Have you tried to change his fashion, Beck, over the years?
Yeah, I have tried, but when he's left to his own devices, it's horrible.
Yeah. What is the worst item in the wardrobe that you see him in, Beck?
Oh gosh, just pattern on pattern.
Pattern.
And Crocs.
It does mean he's
Crocs.
brave, you know.
Crocs are good.
Look, I think this is Kate. What do you feel about this? I think
Is
these
he
are
kind
minor
to
things.
you?
He's nice, yes.
Yeah, oh, he's nice. Well, I don't think you're really into him, but you are married. You might be stuck with it.
Is there any way you can just start to love the pattern on pattern?
Oh gosh, maybe.
You don't actually seem particularly inspired by this
No.
relationship. Are you feeling a bit bored and as though you've made a mistake?
I accept him for who he is.
How long did you
doesn't
go in the
sound
marriage
like it.
before you pull it, Kate? You know, that's
Well,
the
have
thing.
you got children?
No, not yet.
No, not yet. All right, out you go.
Get out.
No, I would
See you,
say
mate.
stick
No,
with it.
you can't, Fitz. Pattern on pattern and no kids. You got a chance to run.
You just
Get
ruined
out
a
of there.
3-year marriage.
Don't care.
Let's go to Emily in Matraville. Pros and cons. How long have you been with this guy for, Em?
Morning. We've been seeing each other for a few months now.
Okay.
Okay, I love this.
Here we
Early.
go. What do you
All
got?
right.
Let's start with the pros, Em.
All right, the pros, he's a good family man. He's good with kids.
Yep.
And he's got a great sense of humour, so he's a bit of a funny character.
Yep.
I see. Yeah,
But we
that's
do
cool.
have some cons with that.
Here we go.
Okay, go
He's
for
the
it.
short king.
He's the short king.
He's little.
How tiny is he, Em? Give us a height.
5'6".
And how tall?
no.
How are you?
Christine.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
Okay, so he's
Okay.
5'6".
And what horse is he on today? In the
Oh,
Melbourne?
that's not fair. Just to get an idea, Em, sorry, if you can just turn on your microphone. Leno is in here on the buttons today. Leno's head pops up just beyond the desk. How tall are you, mate?
I'm shorter
What-
than him. I'm 5'3", 5'4".
Okay.
And then my wife would be about an inch shorter than you. We're probably the same,
But I'm 5'3", I think.
probably the same difference.
Right, now get rid of her, Leno.
No, that's not. This is not Leno's pros
Oh,
and cons.
sorry.
This is Emily's. Is that the only con that you have? He's the short king, or is there any other cons? Em?
No, he's a short king, and he does always want to split the bill when we go out.
Have you always traditionally been attracted to a taller man, Em? Is he your first short man?
No, naturally I'd go for a taller man, yeah. He's the first short king, but it's
Okay.
really not working.
Does it feel a little bit, mean-spirited? You know, when someone's splitting the bill all the time? Does it feel
Yeah, it's
awkward?
just like, we'll just do one for one, you know?
Absolutely. Do you notice it in the
Boudoir.
boudoir, the height thing?
At times.
Yeah.
At times. So, do you know what? Do you know, Emily thinks this guy is a great guy, and I think
No, she
Emily
doesn't.
should give him some time. But
He's
the only
funny.
thing is, physically, he's not where she has always dreamed where her future
No,
husband
and Fitzy,
would be.
when she says funny, I think she's sort of indicating funny to look at.
No,
Not so much.
shut up.
Oh.
You're 25, Emily. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Get out now. Have some fun. Don't waste time with a short guy.
Oh, 2 dumps.
He's blocked.
You got me on a
Thanks,
bad day.
Oh, my God. Emily, I'm so sorry about your relationship.
No, she's going to be fine. Look, she sounds amazing.
Do you know what we could do, Tom? Once we break up with a relationship like Emily, we can then put Emily in traffic dating.
Oh, I
so
love
really,
that.
it becomes
Yeah.
a stream and a feed.
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah, and we put them into traffic dating and find her a taller gent.
Oh, that's terrific.
Okay, traffic
Emily-
dating with them next.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Can we talk about living in an apartment block? Okay, so this is going to blow your mind because this is over in China, in Qingyang Century City. It's called the Region International. It was supposed to be originally a hotel, but now it's been turned into an apartment block. And there's 20,000 residents living in the one apartment block.
Wow.
Have a look on your screens. Kate,
Oh,
could
no,
you live
I
in a
am-
place like this?
It almost doesn't look real.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh, you don't want to be there.
Do you know, when I saw a photo of that, you're right, Kate, I thought it was AI. I thought that can't exist on this planet.
So it was built as a hotel. So basically, you go in there and the apartments, we're calling them apartments, but they're just rooms with a toilet.
Yeah, and everyone's out on the balconies because I don't think there's air conditioning. So the only way you can get air is opening up your glass doors. It's 200 metres tall, 260,000 square metres of space. So it's got food courts, barber shops, nail salons, swimming pools, internet cafes, medium-sized supermarkets. You don't even have to leave. Some people don't even leave the place.
You should be leaving. I mean, I think it's best for everybody's mental health to get
out of there.
outside your house sometimes.
Oh my God, imagine if one person has a party in there. I don't suspect the walls would be all that thick. You'd know that room 325 was an issue.
And sometimes they'd have adjoining door.
Oh,
I mean,
wouldn't they?
you know, in the
Yeah, the
hotels where they have the interconnecting rooms.
Oh my God.
It's full of students, graduates and young professionals. It would be Part A.
Is there a bar in there?
Tommy, you've lived in a few apartment blocks in your time.
Yes.
Like you've...
Yeah, most recently the issue with the girls upstairs that we've spoken about extensively on this show.
What happened? What was the issue with the girls
All the
upstairs?
banging.
Yeah, all the banging.
Who was banging
Well,
upstairs?
Tommy had to get the broom and bang the...
Yes, we have covered that. There were three probably 18, 19-year-old girls who were
Doing
living
what?
upstairs.
And how long were they living with you for, Tom?
Oh, very good, very good. No, they were upstairs and they
Banging away.
and they had new boyfriends like every other week, and we would wake up at about 3 a.m. to wild, sort of antics.
Kids thought someone was being murdered.
Yeah, our kids were upset and things you could only dream of.
Well, but you know what? They're grown-ups.
Yes.
Yeah, but we all need to have respect for surroundings and our neighbours.
Thank you.
Can we talk about the line, Fitz? Can we talk about the line in Saudi Arabia that they're building? So this is going to be that thin line that cuts through Saudi Arabia, and it's going to be 170 kilometres long. This is a city like this.
That's right.
What
We've
is it?
spoken about this.
So they can actually, it's going to be at a height of 500 metres. You won't need to leave here. It's an entire city that can fit 9 million people, the entire population,
What do you
into this
mean?
one line.
What do you mean a line?
It's called a line. Like if we were to put up 2 concrete walls that were 400 metres apart.
Yeah.
And inside that we built a city, and it went for 170 kilometres.
But isn't it like it's like a you are.
It's the width of 200 metres.
Isn't it like a glass dome?
Well,
Isn't
no,
it,
it's mirrored.
And they can control the weather. Can they
Yeah.
control the weather?
With inside, yeah. So it's mirrored on the side, and they've already started building it.
Oh, I don't like the idea of this.
And everybody, so if the world ends, Saudi Arabia can move everybody straight into the line, and you're able to live in there.
Well, not everyone's going to fit.
9 million people.
Well, that's like a movie.
It's
I'm
just
just been
massive.
googling the word dystopian.
Dystopian? Who
Yeah.
used that?
Well, that
Which
was
is-
in the article about the Chinese
Tower, the
the
apartment block.
tower, and it is frightening. It means relating to a society or world that is extremely bad or frightening, or to the description of such a society. Dystopian societies are often characterized by loss of individuality,
Oh, my
tick,
gosh.
Well, that's
oppression,
like-
fear, hopelessness. I mean, that's what all of that looks like.
Well, dystopian movies are like Blade Runner and stuff like that.
Yeah. Big
Yeah.
Brother.
That's
The what?
Big Brother
I'd
was
love to
dystopian.
live. I'd love to live in a dystopian world.
You do.
Congratulations, mate. You're not getting out anytime soon,
You're
big
in
guy.
it.
We got you.
The Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
God, this is exciting to think of because Sydney nightlife is back out. We are on. We're out and about.
Well, they're talking
But it's
about going
different.
to 24/7 here in certain places.
Oh no,
Which I-
makes me
which
feel
I-
tired just thinking about it.
Oh, not
The
me.
Sky's landing across from the Opera House, right on is it Key, the restaurant above it?
Yeah.
But Sky's Landing is the bar underneath it. They're thinking about going 24/7, so you can go and get a beer at any time.
Nothing is
Or
nothing worse
lemonade.
than getting to sort of 3 a.m. and you're thinking, oh, don't tell me I have to go home soon. Because I ain't going home till
Oh
the
no!
sun comes
And because
up.
you know what, when the
an
clock
animal.
strikes 3 a.m., that's when you make your best decisions.
Yes, you do. That's when you make your best move, best decision, and you'll never regret
No,
anything.
no,
Garlic
and
sauce.
feel fine in the morning.
How's
Extra
this
garlic
stuff?
sauce.
As it turns out, Gen Z are not heading to nightclubs anymore.
Who's that again? You have to remind me.
Well, they're like Ollie's age, 23.
20s.
They're not going to nightclubs. They've found somewhere else to go where it's better to meet people, everybody's there, and you can share a common interest.
Jamboree.
Oh, it's not bowling. If it's 10-pin bowling, I'm going to die.
It's a place that we've spoken about a little bit before on the show.
Pottery.
The big potato.
It's called Yochi.
What?
Yochi in
It's the
particular,
new-
or just ice cream?
It's Yochi. I mean, they're leading the sort of yogurt ice cream market, and that is the number one brand that people are lining up for.
I mean, I know. I've done it myself.
You have, so have I. I was the only male in there.
So, this is a night out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
people are actually meeting. It's like, hey, I'll meet you down at Yochi.
I've seen it.
Yochi Bondi?
I
Yeah,
tr-
what time?
I tried to go to the one in Darlinghurst, I think there is. Is it Darlinghurst? Crown Street? Packed. And that was on like a Thursday night or something. It was
So
like
can
a
you-
nightclub.
Yeah, there's a lineup round the corner.
Can you pick up?
Yeah, that's
Apparently.
the idea. Get a
But
couple of
is
samples.
it code, like, when you go shopping, you do the groceries and you put a hand of bananas in your
Yep.
trolley, that means I'm up for meeting
Anything.
somebody. When you go to Yochi, for example,
Yep.
like, is there a certain flavour or a topping, Ollie, that you get that might
How old are you, Ollie?
indicate...
24. I personally don't. I've got IBS, so Yochi's not really for me. But
I didn't know you had irritable bowel.
God, you're good,
so,
Ollie.
oh my goodness, you're so honest.
I
That's
love you, buddy.
lovely.
Have you-
But I
have
have
you-
noticed, like, I'll go out nights
That
out in
no dairy.
Manly, and like the line for the nightclubs or the stain are getting shorter and shorter because the lines down the road for Yochi are getting longer and longer, and people are like dressing up nice,
Are
like,
they?
in what they would usually wear, for a night out for drinks for Yochi.
13 24 10 if you've met the love of your life at Yochi. Have you picked up at Yochi?
In a queue.
Yeah.
Do they have happy hour at Yochi, Ollie? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't think so. But I think they stay. One of the reasons is they stay open later. So the Yochi places are open till like 10:30, 11. So
That's
you
the
get
thing.
people, they go, maybe instead of like, let's go to Macca's drive-through, someone gets hit me up, you up, let's go get
Yeah,
Yochi.
hit me up,
they're
you
still,
up,
They're
yeah.
still open.
And do you know what, too? The great thing about it, when you get to the front of the line, when you're waiting in the line, the people there will give you a sample. So by the time you get to the front, you know which one you're going to order.
I don't like samples.
Oh, that's an amazing development.
So then you can get to the front of the line and go, you know what, I want a acai, I want a pineapple mix, and then, give me the mango. And then you go outside and see a girl and go, oh, what do you think of the mango? What's your favourite flavour? So it's really a bonding.
What's your flavour? Tell me what's your flavour.
They should turn this into a TV show. Samantha
Oh, yeah.
Armitage hosting it.
Yochi Love.
In the queue.
Get on to Janine Ellis. That's awesome.
Love I'm trying to think of
Love
a
on-
name.
love-
Let's have a meeting after the show.
Yeah, love on the
Let's not do it live.
love on the yogurt.
It's quite dull.
Oh my God. Okay, have we got any calls coming through for people picking up at Yochi? Not at this stage. Oh, hang on a minute. Ruby, hello.
Hello.
Hi, Ruby.
Ruby, is Yochi the place to go on a Saturday night to meet people?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, it's so
Thanks
good.
for the call, Rose.
Hang on.
That's a yes.
Which Yochi do you go to, Rubes?
I go. I don't know if it's necessarily yochi, but it's frozen yogurt at Hornsby.
Yeah,
And
okay.
there's usually a line. Like it could take an hour to get yochi, like frozen yogurt. It's insane.
And is it good to meet people there because you know that they are like-minded? They also like a bit of soft serve.
Do you know,
I don't necessarily go to meet anybody, but I go with all my friends, and we all like make friends in the line, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Is it just a fad? Because I remember trying to pick up at Quiznos
How'd
when
you
they
go, mate?
came in.
That?
What did
What's
they do?
Quiznos?
Remember that?
Like
Remember
Subway.
It was
is
like
it?
Subway, and Quiznos were exactly like Subway. And then they remember
Well, they're not
Quiznos
exactly like Subway, let's be honest.
They were exactly like Subway. They were the first to bring in "We can toast your sub," right?
Quiznos.
And then Subway went, "Oh, you know what? We'll toast yours as well." And Quiznos went out of business.
Oh, no way.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
This is a sad little story, but with a very happy ending.
I like that.
Do you?
Yeah.
It's all set in a village in Japan, and because it's out in the country, people,
Arigato.
all the kids are growing up and thinking, "There's not much for me here anymore, and I'm going to move to the city."
Are there blossom trees?
So, yes.
Beautiful.
If you type it into the computer,
Okay,
it will give
great.
you blossom trees because it's in Japan. No, so all the population of the town is growing older, and the people who are living there are growing older and lonelier. So what they've decided to do is, I like this story. It's right up my alley. They make puppets. So there are puppets. Did you see this story floating
I've
around?
just seen the photos.
Things, I mean, maybe don't look at the photos because they are somewhat creepy and they could creep you out. So if you don't like horror movies about dolls or, child's play and things like that,
Tell everyone what these look like.
maybe this is not the place for you.
Oh,
I don't have
my
that
God,
photo
this
in
is
front of
so
me.
funny.
Their features are not particularly distinguishable.
Well, they're not accurate, are they? You go to
Is it
Madison
just- are they like- Are
fits.
they sock puppets or are they?
No, they're big puppets.
Yeah, now I've seen.
Can you see
they're
it?
So
proper
they're
puppets,
standing
yes.
like 5 foot high. They don't look like scarecrows.
And they're doing fun things like
Yes.
swinging on swings. So what they've decided to do,
One guy's on a scooter.
they've done research on puppets because having puppets and company, it says here, I'm not sure I believe this bit, they argue that puppets aren't solely for children and they can alleviate symptoms of loneliness and depression in older generations.
Wow.
So not only do the older people work on the puppets and create them, they then have friends.
Oh, see, I think it's going to be frustrating. That photo there of the person pushing a pile of wood. You're going to wake up each morning and go, have they not got the job done yet?
What if it's
And if you go back to that other picture, this one here, I'm sure that puppet on the scooter's wearing Ray Gun's pants. That's green and gold.
Yeah, that's an Adidas stripe.
They've dressed them in sort of sporting attire.
It might actually create more jobs for people in the town because there might be
puppets.
Not only the building of puppets, the moving of puppets in the night, so that when Jenny does wake up, the guy with the
wood.
the load of wood,
He's moved to the next property.
Yes.
so
down the
many
street.
forms of entertainment that we have now, but imagine getting home after a long day at work and your partner's like, come on, get yourself ready.
Yeah.
It's time for the puppet show.
I know.
And you're worried
there
about
are
AI,
There
are
are
you?
weirder things going on in houses all over the country. Let's be honest.
I mean, it's a form of Halloween, isn't it? You're just putting a weird-looking skeleton out the front of your house all year round.
every day of the year.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
We have to talk about this because you may have seen it over the last few days, but Sydney residents will see their water bills rise by 50% by the end of the decade. This is to cover the... Oh, that sounds nice and fresh,
I'm off to the bathroom.
That's to cover the decade of costs overhauling ageing water infrastructure and connecting a new housing development. So for an average household, water bills will increase by $235 in July next year, 2025. Then they climb $123 a year until the end of the decade.
Oh my God.
Now this is because we've got new housing. This is connecting greenfield developments out west. So there's going to be 170,000 new homes by 2029, and Sydney Water said that 60% of the $16 billion that's raised by the end of the decade will be invested in delivering new services across these growth areas. I'm really scared about water is going to be such a commodity in the future, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
you need to put your money into your desal plants, and then it's endless, mate. I think something like 60% of Perth's water usage is from desal.
Yep.
They just don't have the rain we have over here. Simple as that.
The other thing as well that we got to start thinking about is toilet to tap. Have you heard about this? And it freaks people out, but you know what? They can change the sewage, and we might have to turn the sewage into drinking water.
Toilet
Now,
to tap.
Can I just get...
No. They should never, ever flow from toilet to tap.
Well, this
Hang
is
on
what
a
it's going to
minute.
end up doing, because a lot of the wastage is through the sewage, mate. It's...
Well, a great invention that I've seen recently, which has been around for a while, I know, but it's the sink on top of the toilet. So as you wash your hands, like at the top of the toilet, top of the cistern, there is actually a sink. So you wash your hands, but the water that comes off your hands and the excess water then fills up your toilet.
Gotcha.
So you're not just wasting the water from the sink.
Yeah.
Clever.
Now, have you this? They tried to from sewage to drinking water. They tried to do this years ago. And former state opposition leader Peter Debnant, he had a plan to use recycled sewage and stormwater to the city's drinking supplies. But they reckon it was the key reason he lost the 2007 election for the coalition. Now, have a listen to this. In Queensland, the year before that, a referendum was held whether the city of Toowoomba should turn a purified recycled water scheme. Right? And the locals blew up. More than 60% of the people voted no to what would have been an Australian first. But the thing is, people just, when they hear the word sewage or toilet to tap, they honestly can't do it. And Di Thornley, the Toowoomba mayor at the time, said there was so much misinformation going around, we would dub the city Poowoomba. People were. She said the people were claiming that
not Pooey McPoo face.
No, some people were claiming from the opposition political parties that men's penises were going to shrink. Or they were going to grow breasts, and kids were going to be born with deformities, and you're all going to be drinking poo. So if that's what you want in Toowoomba, that's fine.
Vote 1. God. I hooked up with a guy last night. I assume he was from Toowoomba. Oh, my God.
Oh, my
That is
gosh,
amazing.
You've obviously been drinking toilet to tap.
Oh, have a look at my left breast.
This is the Fitzy and Whipper with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Dyson are inventing a domestic dog robot to do all your chores.
Domestic robot.
Okay. How much is that domestic doggy in the window?
Well, okay, so you know at the moment they've already done the robot dog. You can buy them from Boston Dynamics for $115,000. They're pretty cheap.
What do they do?
So what they're using them for now, I mean, you can have one at home to muck around with in the backyard, but they're using them now to inspect like nuclear fusion reactors, to deliver parcels and potential weapons of war and all this kind of stuff. So that's what they're doing with them.
So they sniff out things?
Bombs.
Yeah, but see, Dyson now have jumped on board and they've put a patent in for a housekeeping robot. So, in
the form of a dog.
The unnamed machine will be able to tackle tasks such as vacuuming, mopping, watering the grass, mowing the lawn and blowing away leaves.
But not a dog.
It's a dog. It's a robot dog.
What, the dog is going to What, blow the leaves away?
It's in the shape of a dog.
Who else would do it?
Well, Elon Musk is talking about a robot that he's bringing out. What's it called?
Like a person.
Yeah, it's
what
a
was
person.
that
It's the white
cartoon
person.
years ago where there was the...
Oh, yes.
What was that old...
that?
Well, it wasn't Roger Ramjet or something.
The Jetsons.
Oh, the Jetsons.
Was it?
For anyone that vaguely remembers
I mean,
the
I would love
Jetsons.
to see a dog mop a floor.
Oh,
Especially a robot dog.
And this is the thing, it can get in under your couch, it can go outside, it can do your landscaping. Like, this is unbelievable.
But you know what would be great? Like if RoboDog, when you get him, you show him all the things that you lose and you stick them under his nose like a real dog. So when you can't find your keys or your phone or your undies, you can go, Robo, sniff out my undies.
That was Whipper real life.
Yuck.
And then
Sniffing.
the dog can help you out with those lost items. I mean, if this thing is meant to help you around the house, then I want domestic RoboDog to do things.
What if you keep losing your husband?
Sniff him out. Where's he going? We were just talking about how did you get caught. You could follow your husband down the street.
Do you know what? Dyson is a brand as well that you just trust, don't you?
I love
They just-
Dyson. I need a new one.
Do you know what I really struggled with the Dyson
Go
is
on.
the three-way. Have you been, you know, the Dyson, how they've got the taps that come out and they can wash your hands, and then they've got the dryer
Oh,
next to the tap.
Yeah, sure,
Now-
sure. You're talking about the hand dryer in public
Oh, I
toilets.
get a bit confused.
Yes.
And then I get nervous someone's watching me not be able to work it.
So
But
you
do
don't
you know-
dry your hands.
They revolutionised the hand dryer, didn't they?
You think these are the best things since sliced bread. I don't rate them. I reckon a quick wipe on the side of the leg and you're better
Yeah,
off.
me too. And my daughter actually
Yeah.
comes home and tells me that, you know, the ones that you dip your hands into in the toilet?
Yep.
The zzz, like that. She says that apparently you're not meant to use those ones because they're germier than paper towel or anything else because it's just blowing the germs all over everybody.
Do you know what's disgusting that the kids used to do?
I don't know.
You know the old-fashioned ones where it's just got the one hole that it blows out of? It's like
I
a
love that.
silver chrome thing.
And you can
Yeah,
turn
you
it
can
upside
flip it.
They
down.
would turn it upside
And
down
Madonna
and
did
spit
it.
into it, and the spit flies through the bathroom or onto the ceiling.
Well, who would do that?
School kids would do that,
Ted,
mate.
is Ted doing that?
No, when I was at school, kids would do that. So that's disgusting, mate.
Just naughty kids.
And then you'd look at the ceiling and it was just full of spit.
That's
No,
disgusting.
I don't. That never happened at my school.
That's okay. We're
all.
at different schools.
Never.
No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's a broad generalisation saying
Well-
that all kids did it.
No, it just happened at my school. What about RoboDog? When is he going to be ready for purchase? Because I'd look for something like this.
Well, there's a patent that's been put out, so they're
Too
inventing
slow.
it as we speak.
I don't want
You
a
know?
robot. Just get a dog.
Have you got a robot vacuum? Like, they're very popular at the moment. We haven't gone with one. Because I've heard some horror stories that they get stuck in, or if they do, if a dog does decide to back one out in the house, and the robot
Rolls
vacuum
over it.
cleaner goes
Does
over
it
it,
roll
it's
it all around the place?
Oh, it's a mess, Kate.
So
It is
it could spend 8 hours after that just spreading it from room to room. So you get home and you go, Mr. Hart, what a mess.
And the waft is... That was like the guy that got the boot from Mitsubishi that I told you
Oh,
about.
what did he do?
Well, his revenge on getting the sack, Kate, is he decided to leave a gift in some alfoil and he wrapped it up like it was a sausage roll. He put it in the pie warmer in the lunchroom. Everyone went to work for 4 or 5 hours and came in for lunch, and then they opened the door and they basically, that sausage roll cooked for 5 hours. They said the smell was the worst that they ever... Didn't stop them having their lunch though. They were hungry.
No.
They were working hard.
I think a cigarette can't push through.
Mate,
Oh, my God. Very soon.
it took me ages to get it into the outfall as well.
Fits in Whipper with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.